All right, boys and girls, we're moving on to example 2. And in example 2, we're doing evaluating functions involving double angles. So we're going to be evaluating this one. If you notice, tangent of u is 8 over 15. And of course, they restrict our domain between pi and 3 pi over 2. Okay, so our angle is restricted here. So now we need to find sine of 2u, cosine of 2u, and tangent of 2u. Okay, so a couple things we know is tangent is opposite over adjacent. So this is actually going to help us because they give us the value of tangent of u. And since they restricted our domain, what we need to do is we need to draw a triangle, okay? So this is what our triangle will look like, and it would be in the third quadrant because that's between pi and 3 pi over 2, okay? So based on tangent, we know that here's angle u, and of course, adjacent to angle u would be 15. And opposite of angle u would be 8. And then we're going to have to figure out the hypotenuse, okay? And just kind of a quick thing, because we are in the third quadrant, 15 and 8 are actually negative, okay? Won't make too much of a difference here, but still you should know that, okay? So, of course, boys and girls, we need to use the Pythagorean theorem to solve for this one, okay? I'm not going to work it out completely for you because by now you should know the Pythagorean theorem. So, basically, we should do negative 8 squared plus negative 15 squared equals c squared. So, a squared plus b squared gives us c squared, okay? And you can just use the calculator. But again, we're using Pythagorean theorem. And c in this case would be would be 17, okay? So that is our length, okay? So a couple things you actually know as a result, okay? So just from this, then you know we need to find sine of 2u, cosine of 2u, and tangent of 2u. So as a result, you should know sine of u and cosine of u, okay? Based on this triangle, sine of u is actually 8 over 17, okay? And cosine of u is actually 15 over 17, okay? Those, you'll need them in a few minutes because of the formulas, okay? So again, you need to draw a picture and you need to use the trig that's given to you to find the other two, okay? So now we're going to go back to the first whiteboard. Okay, so here we go. We're going to solve for sine of 2u first, okay? Again, what would come really handy right now would be the index card, so hopefully you have that near you. For sine of 2u, there's only one property you can use, okay? And that property would be 2 sine of u times cosine of u, okay? And so a couple things you know. You already know sine of u because we just solved it. So sine of u was 8 over 17. So now I'm going to replace sine of u with the value, 8 over 17. We also figured out cosine of u. Cosine of u is 15 over 17. So we can replace that, okay? And so now we're just going to simplify that. And again, if you need to use a calculator, go ahead and do that. And so when you simplify that, you should get 240 over 289, okay? 240 over 289. So this is sine of 2u, okay? So let me just box that. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to move on to cosine of 2u, okay? So let me just kind of draw a little line here. Okay, so moving on to cosine of 2u. So if you look at your double angle formulas, once again, remember you have 3 to choose from. To be honest, it's up to you which one you use. It does not matter, okay? So I'm just going to stick with Let's just go with the first one. Cosine of squared u minus sine squared of u. Okay, so now I'm going to replace my values. Okay, so remember, we already know what cosine of u is, which is 15 over 17. Now we're just going to square it. We already know what sine of u is, which is 8 over 17. But again, now we're going to square it. And again, you could just use the calculator to evaluate that. And you should end up with 161 over 289. Okay. And again, this is cosine of 2u. Okay. So the only one that we're missing now is tangent of 2u. Okay. So I'm going to use another whiteboard to do that. Okay, for the last identity, they want us to solve for tangent of 2u. So for this one, there's only one double angle formula. So it's 2 tangent of u over 1 minus tangent squared of u. And of course, tangent was given to us, so we're just going to replace that. So this would be 2 times 8 over 15 over 1 minus 8 over 15 squared. Okay? Again, you could just plug this in your calculator and it should give you 240 over 161. Okay? And this is tangent of u. So that's it. We're just evaluating. Okay? All right, boys and girls. So I'm going to have you guys try the checkpoint and then check your answers.